forget who it is this year. There is a player who has arrived, and it makes it 100 and something countries that have been represented in English Premier League football now.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
When back in the day, it was just the 3 foreigners that you were allowed. Now it's just a multitude of different nations.
Yeah, it is incredible. It's a stroll in the park at the moment for Hong Kong.
Well, it really is. It's very, very difficult to mark against. I mean, Chinese Taipei are just looking to sit back every single time. Even for me, that's a fairly high line, just what they're playing at the moment. And the ball just creeps up to the halfway line.
I've remembered which country it is, by the way. It's the Philippines. The first ever player from the Philippines this time for an English Premier League side. That's going to be a free kick. Against Chow.
Yeah, sometimes you need that, just put a tackle in, put a foul in or something, just to try and give the players a little bit of a lift when you're not really having too much of the ball, you're not really creating any opportunities. Just say sometimes, just go and put a challenge in, it just might just give the team a little bit of a lift. This is really important now, they just keep the ball for a period of time, which they've really struggled to do.
Throw in for Hong Kong. They got that very early lead inside the first 5 minutes from Tang Chung Lok. Might have increased it to with a second goal from Georges Paramot. And we're just about halfway through the first half, and that's a splendid tackle. That's the first time they've really had to make a tackle, and the one who did so was the captain. Onside again here, the flag stays down, keeper's miles off his line. Necessary intervention, at least he was in the right place with Wang to clear it when he had to do.
Well, again, ball over the top, just see how high the line is. Keeper in absolute no man's land. Strange really, because the first 2 games he's pulled save after save after save. Even in the 4-0 defeats at Indonesia, first half he was absolutely excellent, but I don't know, he must have had a bad night's sleep, because at the moment he's everywhere.
He would have had no chance of that. It would have looked embarrassing if the ball had located the number 6 who was coming in. Tan would certainly have had a second goal for himself. Corner from Lam. There was Tan again. Oh, just too easy, isn't it? You wouldn't say there's a great height difference, but the skipper there, Lau, was in like a rocket.
It's a great delivery. It's a perfect one coming in from Langkawi. Just gets underneath it a little bit, almost timed his run perfectly, but still a decent effort there from the captain.
Well, Hong Kong will be delighted with this. I mean, they're just so much in control.
Yeah.
They must be thinking we can get half a dozen today.
And they'll know that the bigger test will lie ahead against Palestine and Indonesia. Lao, no disrespect to them, you probably feel that they could probably get points against them as well, so it's really important that they got off to a good start.
4 forward in red again. Here comes that first goal scorer, Tan. Plenty of blue shirts back there to defend. As the ball breaks to Long. No free kick this time. The referee from Malaysia with a good view of things, Mr. Shukri. Oh, that's a lax moment. Took his eye off the ball at the crucial second, didn't it? It does enable Chinese Taipei to break through the centre circle. 2 ahead. Can they find something here? One of the rare opportunities they've had at the other end of the field. They've been defending for, what, 80% of this match. It's a bit naive. Well, amazingly, they've still got the chance. Hong Kong would have been disappointed if they conceded there, because they had ample opportunities to get rid of the ball, which they do now. Well, the one in that back line who's looked reasonably steady so far has been Wang Rui. He was the one who conceded a corner, but at least he's been in the right place to do that. Just drifting at the moment. Just waiting for something to happen, and that's good. That was. You do expect the People's Republic of China to progress in world football because of the amount of money that's being spent there. Colossal, isn't it? And players, you know, Paulinho, I see, has gone back there as well, because his career really took off again amazingly when he left Brazil to go there, and but he's decided to go back.
It's a strange one. John Driscoll and I were talking about that. Just seems there's no structure in China to really excel and get players to come from there to play in the top leagues in the world. So I mean, you look at South America and teams like, you know, countries like that seem to get the best out of it. But China,
Guangzhou Evergrande have reached the Club World Cup finals on a couple of occasions. There's certainly plenty of money there. Goal kick by Pan, 26 years of age. Only ever played for one club, Tatung. Here's the number 17, Su. Plays for Hong. The Hong Kong coach might well look reasonably pleased and calm. Lau. Nando. I think the two centre halves being able to pass the ball around between themselves, which is exactly what they do now, again, right on cue. The scoreline, 27 minutes gone, 18 to play in this opening half.
Well, I did say right at the start of the game, could Hong Kong start on the front foot, take the game to Chinese Taipei, and they've done that in every single area.
It's that ball over the top every time, isn't it, that they don't spot somehow.
I mean, I think the one thing that Hong Kong could have taken from the game against that, they had 20 shots, but only 5 on target. So they are creating a lot of opportunities.
And they might create another one here now. Perhaps just overdone it. Oh, actually, Chinese Taipei will be pleased because they've not conceded now for, what, 18 minutes?
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. That's a really good point there, that conceded an early goal. And I've been in those situations where you are struggling to keep clean sheets and you give away a sloppy goal and the confidence just gets zapped out of you. Concede another one, then you just think that the floodgate's going to open and it's going to be a high-scoring game, but say credit to them. They've sort of dug in a little bit, not really doing too much in that final third, but little periods of play like this will sort of help them try and get up the field a little bit.
And the other thing that happens is the side that's got the early ascendancy sometimes tends to go to sleep a little bit because, you know, they feel as though the game's won already, they get complacent. A bit early to be thinking of complacency. They are strolling it. Chinese Taipei are pushing up this time.
See, the problem they have is that Hong Kong are bringing the ball out. They're not having any pressure on them. So the back line has to drop, but the problem is the back line are playing a high line, and that's why the one ball over the top is happening. If you've got players pressing, then you can squeeze up, but they're squeezing up without anybody pressing. That's why the long ball can go over the top every single time.
Yeah, and they do have that just a bit of edge in pace. Was typified there by Tan. Tan Chunlok with 2 goals already in this tournament. Plays his football in China, funnily enough, with Guangzhou Evergrande, with Guangzhou R&F. There are 2 top teams in Guangzhou, and they are just one of them. Almost intercepted. They've just managed to keep the momentum. Back inside their own half. Now it is into a more advanced situation. Chance for Huang to cross one in. Always seems to be 3 or 4 red shirts. There was just nobody near the centre backs. They don't push up together. That's the situation of the game. 2-0 it is, and it has been since the 10th minute. For Hong Kong, a really big test coming up on Friday when they meet Palestine. And it's a gruelling schedule. to think these fellas are playing 3 matches in 6 days.
Imagine the World Cup schedule being like that.
It's almost like the Christmas schedule back home. I think this will be just about kept in play. Will. Needs a bit of nifty footwork here. He's done well to keep his balance, and there was a danger he was going to foul the opponent, but he did steer to safety by Su. Thought there'd be a free kick going somewhere along the line there. It was Lam who conceded it.
They were brave there because they played a little ball around the corner. I think he won the ball there. I don't think there was too much on that foul. Su Yuche.
2 Lams in the Hong Kong lineup. That one was a Kawei Lam. The other one was Hinting Lam. Plays for the wonderfully named Dreams Football Club. Every boy has dreams of playing for football clubs at a high level. Not many get the chance. Here's the right fullback, Long. He plays for Easton. Rather less exotically named. Once again, it's that situation of one team having so much of the possession they can run out of ideas.
Alo. Alo. Tiếng hơi bé nhỉ. Test tí anh em nhá. Đợi chút. chặn cho live trên Facebook.
冇俾佢蝕咗先啊！冇俾佢蝕咗先啊！係啊，冇俾佢蝕啊！有籃板咁，你蝕前點啊？係啊！照對，對，咩先啊 ？OK， OK 啊！呢度，往呢度。
this one. It's into the right area, that's for sure. So we know that the Chinese team is very vulnerable. And they desperately need to get back to the dressing room.
Oh, massively. I mean, very, very poor. I mean, you can use the excuses of tired legs, couple of games in that time. Have they used all their energy up against Indonesia and Palestine? Probably one of the two strongest in their group. But you can't conclude that the goalkeeper is tired to make the mistakes that he's made.
No, they've conceded 8 goals in sort of 2 halves of football. Nice running off the ball. Let's commend one of the players. He's actually won a corner, as Lee, I think.
Decent run there from him, just not had that opportunity too many times in the final third.
Quite sure what they're going to say in those dressing rooms, really.
I'm thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Hong Kong fella, he just said, just keep going, boys, get as many as you can, fill your boots. Damage limitation in the other dressing room. Chen's come back to help defend against this corner kick. Right zone, but that's good goalkeeping. This one is plucked out of the air by a man who's virtually touching it for the first time in the game.
First time he's actually handled the ball.
Tolly needs a weak back header here. Well, that is physicality, and it's fair physicality. It was a shoulder to shoulder, and then he's tricked him. Oh! Ooh. You were thinking this referee might just be pointed to the penalty spot here.
My initial reaction, it wasn't. I think he felt expecting the challenge to come in. Brilliant bit of skill though from Chong on the nutmeg. Just falling over just before he got there. That was my initial reaction.
Yeah, put his studs into the turf, didn't he?
It's great skill individually already. Surprised that Chinese Taipei may have gone to 5 at the back, just giving themselves an extra bit of cover with an extra player, because they're playing the 2 up, but they're not even touching the ball. So
you're witnessing total superiority from one side over the other. And as I said earlier, the other thing is I can't imagine there being any added time in this half, because we've had no stoppages whatsoever. He's found his own man on the edge of the 18-yard area. Move on not to concede a free kick. Putting the ball up towards the halfway line. Is there time for one more goal? With 10 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, the ball over the top's great as well, because looking at the surfaces the last couple of games, ball holds up really well. Not a lot of water, pitch is very dry, so it's sticky, and it will stick in that final third.
Moving into a period of added time in the first half, and Hong Kong predictably are looking for a 5th goal, and the ball is swung into the middle there, and they'll still latch onto it. Desperate defending, successful so far, and definitely successful. So they should come away unscathed for the remainder of the half. Not if they give the ball away like that, though. One team just totally dominant. In a funny way, you run out of things to say because it's so one-sided.
It's literally been men against boys in this first half.
Well, the goals have come thick and fast throughout the 45 minutes. I don't know where he's found all this added time, to be honest with you.
Probably the celebrations.
He probably is, actually. We'll have a bit more now, because the referee's trotting off to the right there, just to see what's happened to the Chinese player, the defender Wang Rui, who actually scored for the senior Chinese Taipei side in only his 2nd appearance against Brunei back in 2015. He made his debut in a World Cup qualifier against Brunei, and in the return leg he scored. Not bad for a defender. Still his only goal in 12 senior appearances, but Will he be back for the second half? He's probably hoping not.
I would be.
Well, it might be an opportunity to give somebody else a go. They've got enough on the bench. Several defenders, actually. Wang Quanju, Cheng Hao. But that is half-time here in Bekasi. Very, very good first half for Hong Kong, for two men in particular. The number 6 there, Tan, he scored the first and the third goals. And the number 18, Zhuge, he scored the second and the fourth. So, bit of uniformity. It's been a nice first half for Hong Kong. Pretty horrible, I'm afraid, for Chinese Taipei. This is the way it's going. 4-0, Hong Kong lead. Welcome back here to Bekasi in Indonesia for the Group A encounter between Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. I say encounter, it's a very one-sided encounter, to be brutally honest. Hong Kong are leading by 4-0 with midfielders Tan and George having both found the net on 2 occasions. And it's a sort of idiosyncratic performance from the Chinese Taipei side, which has now conceded 8 goals in its last game and a half. And unsurprising, they're going to make a substitution. The player who is coming on is Che Shengwei. Let's see who he's going to replace. The 4th official will hold up the board, Mr. Amar Mahfoud. And it's the number 5, the 19-year-old Huang, who was booked against Indonesia. So he gives way. And here we have Huddle. What on earth can they be saying to one another?
I have no idea.
Here is Chen Shengwei. Well, let's hope he can help stem the tide, but they've certainly got to be more organised defensively if they're not to prevent a cricket score being
Well, they do. I mean, defensively from the front, I mean, you can certainly look at the back four with the high line, but they're not helping each other by defending from the front. And when the midfielders get the ball, they've got all the time in the world to look up and pick any pass that they want.
This is the second half, Hong Kong versus Chinese Taipei. And what an easy afternoon this fella Nando has had, the left-sided centre-back for Hong Kong. He's really strolled through the match. But he has to go a bit quicker this time, as the ball spins away there towards Lee. Lee is the number 9 for the Chinese side. Chinese Taipei, and that's over the top, and I think he'll keep this one in as well. Looks up to see if there's anybody arriving for a pass. Not yet, so he takes the right option there. There's Huang Kitsu. What did astound me, Adam, I looked at the statistics at half-time that we're fed here, and according to them, the possession stats was Hong Kong 52, Chinese Taipei 48. Not sure where that came from. Well, they've got possession here, and they're inside the penalty area of the Hong Kong side.
I think for Hong Kong's second half is to continue what they're doing, but just not to concede a sloppy goal. And they're really, really in pole position in terms of goal difference up against Palestine and Indonesia, so that almost counts as an extra point, really, doesn't it, if it has to go down to that. Been in these situations before myself. You're in control of the game, and then to concede a sloppy goal when you've been dominating throughout just always leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Even yes, you come up with 3 points with a decent performance, but I'm sure they just don't want to concede a sloppy goal.
Free kick. I was going to say that Chinese Taipei have forgotten how to score a goal, or forgotten what it's like, but I'm not quite sure when they did last score, to be honest. And, it must be heartbreaking to play in a team that so rarely looks like threatening the opposition net. But they've got a free kick here, which will be taken by Wei Mao Ding. Unless the number 10 Chen supersedes him.
Well, we have seen players shoot from this distance throughout this tournament. I'd like to think that onto the far post area will be certainly on.
Yeah, please don't shoot. I've said that, he'll probably go score. I would say what a wonderful goal. The odds are against that. A goalkeeper would be horrified to be beaten from that sort of a distance. In the end, he's chipped it into the keeper. The idea was okay. But Wang Rui unable to get on the end of it.
Just needed a little bit more movement, put it a little bit more in the diagonal. So it just hits the goal, then you miss out the goalkeeper.
He just waited, didn't he? Bided his time until the man arrived and then played the right pass. But unable to get forward, Wang Kitsu. Big touches there from Yu. Plays for Hong. Well, they're having more touches inside the opposition area in this half than they did in the first, I think. Well, maybe the coach has got them buzzing a little bit.
It's difficult for Hong Kong coming out second half when you've been so dominated in that first half, and especially the start, because you tend to start on the front foot.
Oh, they look tired already defensively, don't they? And his second favourite here. This man's on a hat-trick. Gets the corner. Tan's been hugely influential.
He's been brilliant. Even in the first game against Lao, I was really, really impressed with his runs from deep, and now playing on the shoulders every single time. When you see George and Tan through on goal, I very doubt they'll pass to each other.
Well, the thing I would say is a compliment to Su there, because he stuck to his task. Better to concede the corner than to concede a goal or give away a penalty, which could have happened. As the other fella on 2 goals, Jorge Torres Paramo. Keeper makes a decent fist of it. All the pressure again coming from Hong Kong now. And this time Pan is able to just come down and pick the ball off the grass.
There's a better punch from him from the corner. Made a good decision to come and do that. So keepers doing a lot in this tournament, not looking to try and catch it.
That will be a free kick. He knows, doesn't he? Full name Fernando Recio Come. Nando. So that foul there gives Chinese Taipei a free kick in the opposition half for the second time. That was the moment we saw the number 16 Lam go to ground. It's not really been a physical encounter. One yellow card shown so far. Short passing with Yu involved. So many of these players are university graduates or college boys or in football schools. Spread wide by Chen. Well, they have had a bigger share of possession in this half than they did in the first. Question what you do with the ball, though. Oh, that was a shame. I think it was a handball. Otherwise, he might have played his man in.
First time had a little good bit of possession. A little one back, then forward.
Peng Wu-sung is the Chinese Taipei coach. Kenneth Kwok-la Kaluk, coach of Hong Kong. Looking for a 5th goal. And of course it can come down to goals scored in the group tables. Not much doubt, I don't think, where the 3 points are going. Definitely better, but the header was firm and allows Wang to play the ball to one of his compatriots.
Well, there couldn't have been any poorer in the first half, Chinese Taipei, but give credit to them in the second half. They're coming out with a little bit more in their step. They're slightly pressing better, keeping the ball slightly better, trying to get in that final third. So
he says it was a dive. So Chow, who's been booked himself, the one player who has been booked so far, launched very long here. I've noticed the ball does seem to hold up on this turf. Both the stadiums we've seen.
I mentioned that first half. Just knowing now the ball goes over the top, it's a really sticky pitch, so it will hold up in that, especially the humidity. When they do water the pitch, it just sort of gets zapped straight out straight away.
Well, I think we know that 2 goals came from this source in the first half.
Put it straight on the goal if I was.
He'd be looking for a hat-trick of assists. WK Sui. Kit Sui. this time the defender is there. I thought that might have been a free kick there, but the referee says play on, and they'll be only too happy to do that, especially if they win another corner, another throw-in or whatever. It will be a throw-in. I can understand his frustration. That certainly looked like a throw-in the other way. Chinese Taipei will settle for the decision. One of the troubles when you score 4 goals in the first half is that everybody expects to go and score another 4 in the second half. It very rarely happens.
You say all the time, don't you, that half-time came at the wrong time for Hong Kong, and with another 5-10 minutes left, they'd have probably felt they'd have got 2 or 3 more. Chinese Taipei had gone back in. It just seemed a little bit more organised, less susceptible to that one ball over the top. And just Hong Kong now not picking up any injuries, no silly yellow cards.
These are the balls out there that really unhinge Chinese Taipei. The ball over the top. But, he was offside on that occasion. George. And you were looking forward to Indonesia and Palestine a little later.
Really looking forward to that one.
Good big crowd in for it as well. That was a better pass out to the wing. It was a raking sort of a ball, picked up in stride. Well, they're definitely looking a bit more organised in the second half. It's just nice for them to get a goal, wouldn't it? When you've gone 0-0, 0-4, 0-4, life ain't too funny.
Certainly Hong Kong have stepped off the pace in this second half.
It is difficult to retain momentum, to retain concentration when you're so far in front. But they are concentrating defensively, which is what pleases coaches. Coaches hate to concede a goal, don't they? 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, no matter, but they hate 4-1.
Yeah, it does leave up just a little bit of sort of bitterness when you do come off, when you've been in such control of the game, and you shouldn't really feel that Chinese Taipei should get a goal with the experience that they've got at the back.
First change for Hong Kong. We'll see the withdrawal of one of their number here. The player who is coming on is Ho Ming-yu, and it's Lam who's going off. Well, Lam's done okay. He's a very senior player, is Lam, so you can afford to sacrifice him. He's got 51 full caps. So Ho Ming-yu is the new player. Plays for Eastern Club, 23 years of age, a left fullback. He's had 3 loan spells from his club. And it is Chinese Taipei who react quickest there, but then the ball spins away, picked up easily by Nando. Minutes gone in the second half. No change to the scoreline. This one is dealt with very capably by Huang. Nando would wish that all games were like this, I suspect.
So, I used to think that through my career.
He's only 25, actually. I'm saying that he looks older than 25. He won't thank me for saying that. That's definitely gone out. He works hard, this number 9. Chung Wei Kung, former Pegasus player. Calmness personified. They were 2 goals up by this stage of the first half. In a way, that killed the game off. Now that just shows how lackadaisical you can become when you've got such a comfortable lead. I don't think you get away with that. And look at great disappointment on the face there of Chow.
It's experienced defending net. Draws in the foul. Get yourself between the man and the ball. Feel a little bit of contact and go down.
And here is that man, Fernando Recio Comi. I say he's known as Nando, though he's got Recio on his shirt. Is it any wonder commentators get confused? Ample time for the goalkeeper to come here, which he will welcome. It's not a good place to lose the ball in the centre circle, and a lot of red shirts forward, and the red shirts get the free kick as well from our referee today, who was the first Malaysian ever to referee in the Indonesian Super League, 38 years of age, Mr. Shukri. Does World Cup qualifying matches and Asian Champions League games. Now it's on his CV that he's done the Asian Games. And, to be fair, I think to Chinese Taipei here in this second half, there's not been one real chance for Hong Kong to extend their lead.
No, not really. Still feeling that Hong Kong have just stepped off the pace.
And they'll get the corner now, though. This will pose a little bit of menace to Pan's net. Number 16 there, Hinting Lam, has scored 5 times for his club, so he had dreams in only 15 appearances. He actually played in Portugal for a while, but he had real language difficulty problems, and so he came back to Hong Kong. We'll have this corner kick. They've got the height in there, but the goalkeeper's been better in the second half.
Those two now he's come for.
Yeah, there you are, he's grown in confidence. Coolly steered away by Wang. Now Nando. There's that ball over the top again. Offside this time. And not even George is complaining about the decision.
It's a very tight one, isn't it? Again, experienced run to go short and then spinning behind with time on the ball.
He almost looked more onside than one of those where he did score.
True.
The first of his 2 goals was from a suspicious position. Not he stopped to think about it. Chinese Taipei advancing through the centre, so doing nicely here. There's a gap out on the left as well. Let's see if they can exploit that gap. They have a chance of a shot. I think I had one in the first half. Looking to even win a corner here, which will be a moment of celebration for them. Plenty of blue shirts around. Sadly for them, there were plenty of red ones too. And a free kick against Wang Rui. Oh, he's got the yellow card. That's his second of the championship. He'll miss the next game.
Yeah, just a cynical one there, just on the halfway line. Good feet from George.
Yeah, he was booked in the game against Indonesia. Hong Kong looking to pierce this back line for a 5th time. But they've been kept at bay so far in this half. Maybe now. Oh, there would have been points on a rugby board. High over the top from Georges Paramo. It's all about level.
I mean, his right foot and half his body was onside. His arm was probably off.
Didn't matter ultimately, did it? high into the cavernous stands of the stadium here, the Patriot Stadium. A lot of Hong Kong players forward again now, starting with George. Good running off the ball. Just trying to up the tempo again, Hong Kong here, I think. Nice little back heel. And Wang Rui's got to be careful now. 2 yellow cards in 3 games. But it all comes about because of the amount of pressure that they're put under. Hong Kong's throw. Time seemed to stand still for a moment there. Eventually they'll pick up the pace again. But they've just got a little bit sloppy at times in this half. Really nice technique shown by the Chinese Taipei player on that occasion. The thing is that they're getting closed down again. Hong Kong are certainly better in that department of the game. Coming up to 65 minutes gone and 25 to go. And Hong Kong just as comfortable as we expected. Despite the Chinese side giving it a bit of a go in this second half, we've certainly enjoyed more territorial possession. Well, that was good communication between goalkeeper and defender.
Yeah, done well in the end. Really enough blue shirts making a run into the box when the ball's out wide.
Next into the game will be Suwaji, and he's not going to get a hat-trick today, St George. I don't think he'll complain too much. Good opportunity for the coach to bring on somebody else. These have been his golden moments of the day. Well, the first one emphatic, the second one simple.
Yeah, first one was, you talk about experience through on goal.
Hasn't gone off yet. I think the referee's saying, please, would you mind going? There's your number up now. What are they doing here? Well, he's the last person who should be complaining, the number 2. Wang, who's on the yellow card. Okay, they didn't quite get the substitution as they would have liked. Game's sort of drifting, which is what often happens in these circumstances.
I think what they were trying to say was that Nando's gone down injured and they didn't want to waste a substitution of him coming off.
Would you agree with me? He looks older than 25.
I would do, yes.
Footballers do develop and mature more quickly than some people with the amount of training they do. And there we have it, Hong Kong 4, Chinese Taipei 0. So it looks like being an 8th victory in 16 matches, so 50% win record since it became an under-23 competition, this, for Hong Kong. They've now scored 25 times in those 16 games. And here's a switch for Chinese Taipei as well. Their player going off is Li. The one who will replace him is Chen Hongwei. Little chance for Li to shine today. Chen Hongwei, who plays for the Jesus club, just 5'6". He was also he played against Palestine, but was substituted, so didn't get into the starting lineup today. Nando's hobbling a little bit and getting ready. Remy Dujardin, which is an interesting name. He's hobbled off, hasn't he, Nando? Anyway, I don't think we're going to see him again. That looks uncomfortable, to say the least. And Dujardin has an interesting background. He actually played for France as a schoolboy at international level. He's now studying in New York. But says his real home, his true home, is Hong Kong. game needs something to happen, really.
In a little bit.
Got a bit stale, a bit flat. And they've got themselves a corner kick of Chinese Taipei. Here is the switch. Number 8, Remy Dujardin, 21 years of age. Now goes to the St. Bonaventure University, New York. You're always willing to have a goal there. This is a 1-on-2 position which he'll seek to exploit. Fresh legs coming on. He's done well. He never gave up the chase there, did he? As a result of which, Hong Kong have got a platform here to try and find that 5th goal, which has been elusive so far in this half. They'll settle for the corner kick.
Good strength there from Chiu. I thought it was an original foul on him when the ball was over the top. The defender just had his eye on the player, not the ball.
Chung's worked hard, the number 9. And Tan there, number 6, is still on a hat-trick. No threesome today for Georges, who's gone off now. Once again, the corner will be taken from this left side by Ho Ming-yu. Could have gone anywhere. Could still! Top of the net. Decent attempt. And, well, that would have been a spectacular hat-trick goal.
He would have been. It's great improvisation, you know, you haven't really got too much on, it's just a snapshot over the shoulder, and it's very, very unlucky that just didn't creep under the bar.
It's funny how some players just have that knack of being in the right place at the right time. When you look up to see who's got the effort in, it's often Harry Kane at Tottenham Hotspur. Going down the years, people like Ian Rusher we talked about yesterday, you know, they just know where to be.
I think the best player in the world is, for me, is Messi. He scored goals where I thought if I stood there throughout my career, I wouldn't find one goal. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time in all different areas. And that shows the quality of a player when you kind of feel like he's 3 or 4 seconds ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, they think more quickly. Ooh, big chance here for Hong Kong to cement their position in the game, and Han is able to palm it down. Immediate impact by Siu Wei Chu. 19 minutes to go. Well, the second half has definitely been better from Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, I mean, first half they were picked off far too easily. I do think Hong Kong have certainly stepped off the pace and conserved a lot of energy for the coming games. Slight concern for Nando going off injured, though.
Yeah, if this had been the first game, the first half, you'd have thought, well, they're not doing too badly here. Chinese Taipei, they're holding their own. In the overall complexion of the match, they're way adrift. You still feel there might be a 5th goal in it for Hong Kong. The match is coming thick and fast. Played around Indonesia. You've got about 6 blue shirts in your picture. Well, now you've got a half a dozen red ones, but at one point there was only 2 red. The ball through is a dangerous one. He's followed the knockdown and will allow it to go out of play. Well played by Chen, captain and leader for Chinese Taipei, who have the possession again here now. They've got to get through another 18 minutes. If they could get through this second half without conceding, then they have something to build on for the next game. Quite sprightly. The intentions of Yu were good there. Backs to the wall again. Hong Kong stroked the ball around. least Chinese Taipei have made an effort to close down better in this half. Oh, and as soon as you say that, there's a big gap in the centre of their defence. Too high. Well, you can't say he's not had chances for the hat-trick.
Oh, he's not. I mean, this time he maybe should have taken a touch, but again, not the best defending from Wang. Good hold-up play, played it back, but I think he even has time to have a touch and get a shot towards goal. But I've been really impressed with him today. I said I was impressed with him against Lao in the first game.
I think you'd like to see another one go in.
Yeah, I think so. Just keep that goal tally going up.
It might be very important. As I say, they've got this game against Palestine on Friday. It's funny how quickly Palestine has become a reasonable soccer nation after only being admitted to FIFA a short time ago. Playing here, of course, under the